Welcome to the Author Corner, our chance to meet the authors you'll want to read. I'm Stephanie, and I'm so excited today to be joined by author Rafael Rivera-Viruet. He's got so many fabulous books out there. I hope we have enough time. Dream Chasers, Numbers is Everything. This is book 4 in his Dream Chasers series, and this is about Hollywood and all sorts of wonderful things. Our author writes that is much more than just a visual trip down memory lane. It's an accurate account of almost a century's worth of early Puerto Rican diaspora during the 40s and 50s, but seen through the eyes of privilege of a well to do, educated, entrepreneuring, and ambitious dreamer. Intimate, personal, and candid, this picture book gives an honest look at the cultural nuances that defined the latter part of the 20th century, molded primarily by the entertainment industry and its social and economic impact throughout the whole of the modern world. Good natured and unpretentious, this peculiar glimpse at the adventures of a prosperous and successful Boricua not only entertains but also strives to inspire the emerging generation, shedding some light on the importance of education, conviction, and hard work. And if that isn't enough, our author also is the proud author. Well, there's a bunch of books here, but you're definitely going to want to find Hollywood, Se Habla Español, which is a great look into the Hispanics in Hollywood films yesterday, today, and tomorrow. So, thank you for welcoming with me author Rafael Rivera Viruet. I know I'm not saying that last name correctly. You're going to have to practice with me again.
Well, thank you so much, Stephanie, for having me. I
Oh,
really appreciate it.
love what you're writing about. I mean, I grew up in a household that's entertainment was what was on. So seeing your topics are just amazing. Bring me back to your first books and what got you started writing.
Well, my first book, Hollywood Se Habla Español, it's about a research study that I started in 1981, 82, when I was living in California. Because when I got there, I was very lonely. And what happened was that um, I started walking through Hollywood Boulevard and seeing all the stars on the Hollywood Walk of Fame, and I didn't see too many Latinos. However, when I went into the alleyways on Hollywood, there's a lot of memorabilia shops
Uh,
with a lot of photos and fan magazines. And I looked and I see a sign. It says Latinos section.
oh,
So immediately I run to the Latino section, and there I find unbelievable amounts of information about Latinos in Hollywood. I mean, things like, one time Latinos were the highest paid in Hollywood, okay? Things like in the early days of sound, um, they made 120 films directly in the Spanish language, and because the Latino audience all over the world, there's 26 countries that speak Spanish, and it was a super success. So I write about, all these wonderful actors with their contributions, and the book won the best. Um, uh, which we call coffee table book. It's a lot of photos um, at the Los Angeles International Latino Book Fair. And I am so proud of it, Stephanie, because today the book is being used at colleges and universities for research, for information. And I'm just so proud of it.
oh,
Um,
you
yeah.
should be.
And then
Unbelievable.
the book is 6 essays. It's the beginning, obviously, the beginning of when there was no sound. Okay. Uh, and it goes all the way to from 1908 to 2008. And the amount of information that I found many times, when you're in a Latino group, people have different opinions about different things. So luckily, Ricardo Montalban was a dear friend of mine. And I would then go to him and says, Ricardo, how is this for real or not for real? And he would say, forget it or yes. And it was just wonderful because it was a research study that after 25 years of writing and researching and making sure it was correct, it was finally published in 2008.
Wow,
25
fantastic.
years. And that's why it's being used by colleges and universities and people who want to have gifts as memorabilia, nostalgia, a lot of nostalgia, wonderful, wonderful things like, you know, Latinos were the first in many areas. I mean, we can go on, you know, but if you get the book and read it, you'll be amazed.
I'm amazed you were so successful with your research. That's a lot of research. And nowadays research is a lot easier, isn't it? We have
Oh,
Google.
much easier,
You
much
didn't have
easier.
Google.
No Google. What I did was I went to about maybe two or three hundred in stores that had the Latino section, and that's how I was able to accumulate all the information. And then the interviews that I did with some of the actors, and it's just a passion. It was a passion of mine to give our people the opportunity to say, look at the positive images that we have. Look at all the contributions that we have made. And kids love to read it because it gives them a lot of information.
Absolutely. And we know your information is true, unlike Google, which we never know for sure.
You
You
know?
actually were in the shops, like you were talking about, looking through the films and the records and in the history and interviewing people. This is actual what happened. And I had no idea so many films at the dawn of the talkies were made in I had no idea about any of
Yeah.
this.
Yeah. Well, again, this is information that basically um, they don't write about,
You're
you
right.
know? So it's part of history. And my document is a historical, the narrative of what Hollywood was and what it is today.
You are so right. And a book like yours is so important for millions of people to realize that they have this unbelievable creative artistic past, that they are part of a whole legacy. That's incredible because without having research like yours, people think I'm not part of this whole wave of what has been entertainment in this world.
I gotta show you something. One of the six chapters, one of the chapters was called the Hispanic Hollywood Hall of Fame. Okay.
Yep, I see it.
Okay. And so what I did with the co-writer, I had done a lot of research writing, and I said I need somebody to look it over and give me some, you know, more what you call graphics, because I
Okay.
think graphics is what makes a picture book happen, you know. And so we selected about 45, 46 great actors and put a Hall of Fame together in the book. And I am now looking for ways. I made to make it into a documentary of vignettes. Yeah, and I've already did the first 6 minutes. It's on the website.
Oh my gosh, yes.
Yeah,
I
so I
want to make sure
bring it
people
to
can.
life, bring the book to life.
Yes, absolutely. Let me share your website again with everyone. You'll definitely want to head over to terramaxent.com. There it is, TerraMaxent.com, where the worlds of entertainment, information, and education come together. You'll want to head over there because there's so much information, not to mention a discount on that fabulous book. So you'll definitely want to head there. And you said your video clips are right there?
Yes. Yeah,
Fantastic.
it's yeah, I did a video clip because I'm looking to raise the funds to produce a PBS style documentary on Latinos in Hollywood.
Fantastic.
I've done that already in the music industry for PBS. I wrote the history. I produced and wrote the history of salsa music
Oh,
for, yeah, I did that. And I also did the history of Hispanics in New York state politics from the 1920s until the 21st century.
you are just the Hispanic history guru of the century.
I love it. I love it. I love it. Well, in my Dream Chaser book, I write about my experience with Stan Lee. I worked with Stan Lee from Marvel Comics
Mhm.
for about 6 years in the 90s. And I was involved in producing the animation of Spider-Man, Iron Man, Fantastic Four. And it was a wonderful, wonderful experience of working with Stan Lee. And anyway, and so I write
Fantastic.
about it.
So yeah, you were right there at the door, right there where history was happening for so many things. Tell
I
me a
feel
little bit
so
about that.
blessed, Stephanie. I feel so blessed.
That's
What was
amazing.
your question?
Of all the things you've been right there in the room where it happens. What was the most amazing piece of history that you got to witness firsthand?
Wow, that's a tough one.
There's a lot of them that you have.
Yeah.
It's tough. Give me a few, even if it's not
Okay,
the
look,
best.
for example, I spent 2 months with an actor named Steve McQueen back in the 70s. And that was an amazing story of how we met and why we met. So I read about that. Um, I read about my experience in working on being the chief financial officer and head of business for a movie called On Golden Pond,
Oh my God.
another one called Sophie's Choice. Um, yeah, and some wonderful animation that I was involved with. Uh, and it keeps me, it keeps me busy, keeps me going, keeps me thinking, and I love what I do.
Oh my
And I thank you for having me.
Oh my goodness, but for you to be these movies, these people that you just drop that you've been with and spent time with and worked alongside. These are people that have shaped the past century and a half of everything that we consider entertainment.
Yes, I've been very fortunate. Thank you. Yes.
That's a huge and history wouldn't be the same without you having been there too. That's for sure. Would be a very different place right now.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you.
Now, this
Yes.
last book came out 19
The Hispanics in Hollywood.
yes,
Hispanics in Hollywood came out like in 2009,
209. Okay.
something like that. Yeah.
Okay. So,
And that's when it won
the
the
coffee
best
table.
coffee table at
Yes.
the
Well,
Latino
it's
book. Yeah.
gorgeous. Absolutely.
Yeah. Yeah.
Absolutely a gorgeous book.
And then I started writing the series called Dream Chaser
Hmm.
because Stephanie, I'm a dreamer, and originally I wanted to be a musician. Okay, and my mom told me, Rafael, as a musician, you ain't gonna go no place. Go with numbers. Go with numbers. She says to me, numbers is everything.
Really?
And this is why
There we
I
go.
said
Numbers
numbers.
is everything.
That's what my mother gave me the title. uh, so I started writing the series back in, I would say, two, 210, something
Oh,
like that.
okay.
Yeah, I started writing. And then about 5 years ago, I published my first one, Dream Chaser from the Hills of Puerto Rico to the Hollywood Hills, the early years.
Nice.
Um, but I did it for Amazon Kindle because I felt that young people many times don't like to have the hard book. They want to have a tablet or whatever. So Amazon, Kindle
Right.
uh, is doing the Hollywood, excuse me, the Dream Chaser one, the early years.
Gotcha.
The second Dream Chaser, um, I grew up in the South Bronx. I don't know how much you know about the South Bronx, but it was a very difficult time,
Sure.
in my early teens. Um, So my second book is called Growing Up in the South Bronx.
Right.
But my mom, I was, again, we were three boys. We had a little restaurant, and I was good with the numbers. So she told me to consider that as the future, which I did. Um, and my second book, basically, I write about my experience in the community and how I was involved in making people having a better life.
Nice.
Okay, get them out of poverty. Because I've always said my motto is, if you want to get out of poverty, get an education.
Mhm.
And you got to get an education. It's the only way to get out of poverty.
Right.
Um,
Right.
and so that was my second book. My third one is the 1970, the
Ah,
decade
I
of the
saw this one.
1970s. This
I saw
book,
this one. Yes.
yeah, this book is 10 years, 1970 to 1980, when I was involved in deal making and negotiating unbelievable deals for major clients. And I was the chief financial officer and head of business. So I was able to then put deals together, you see? And so I write about that. And that's where I write about Steve McQueen. I write about meeting Fidel Castro and having dinner with Fidel Castro. And so that's what the decade of the 1970 Dream Chaser is all about.
Gotcha. Gotcha. Tell me, as somebody who is so incredibly prolific as a writer, I mean, book after book after book, how do you do it? Do you find it difficult or just do words flow out of you? I mean, most people find the thought of writing one book insurmountable. You've written multiple.
Well, yeah, I understand what you mean because I'm on the board of directors of a community college in the South Bronx called Ostos Community College, which I was involved in the founding of the college back in the 70s. And I always tell the young folks um, that writing is rewriting
Mm,
because when you're writing, about actual events, there are things that happen that you might remember, don't remember, or you want to find out more. So as you go through that process, it's rewriting. Um, but you have to have a passion for it too.
sure.
Okay, passionate. And to me, um, I would say that in order to succeed in life, you need to be educated and you need to have the passion to do what you want to do. And you may change, your career throughout your life a number of times. I've done it.
Sure.
You've done
I'm
it.
hearing that. I'm hearing that you've been this and this and this and wow, you don't look old enough to do all those things.
Well, believe you me, I'm up there. I'm really up there. So I'm glad you give me
But
that
you've
compliment.
done so much. Well, let me ask you something. Is there any stone left unturned? Is there something you haven't done yet? Someone you want to meet and interview? Tell me.
Well, I'm doing two things. I'm working um, on a project um, that brings two great actors together who I had done some work with. Um, one is Pierce Bronson,
Oh,
the James
sure.
Bond character, but not now James Bond, but he's the actor. And then the first James Bond girl, Maria Grazia Cucinotta.
Oh,
She's a Italian actress with her own wonderful shows in Europe. But they worked together 30 years ago. He was James Bond. She was the girl, the James Bond girl with the cigarettes, and I want to bring them back together again.
wow.
In a it's a mafia comedy.
A
A
mafia
mafia comedy.
comedy.
Yes.
I
Yeah.
love that. Now, of course, they're not the youthful people they were in that first movie anymore.
No, but there, I feel that the people who are uh, 45 to 50 and above will love this film. So it's for that generation,
Okay.
50 and above or 45 and above, because we have a lot to say. You know,
Absolutely.
we've had some wonderful experiences. So that's why I want to do this. And then at the same time, I want to do the documentary short series on the Hispanics in Hollywood, as I explained to you
Yes,
earlier.
yes, that you
So
started.
I'm working. I'm keeping busy.
So there's no stopping you. There's already multiple projects on the burners going as we're speaking.
Yes,
You're going to have to
absolutely.
come back to bring us all up to date.
I would love to have you have me back. I would
Yeah.
love it.
Is there somebody else? I know we talked about Ricardo Montalban, and boy, I grew up with Ricardo Montalban in my living room on the TV. That's how I grew up. Is there somebody else that you would love you haven't met yet, but you'd love to have them on your next book as a forward or something?
Yes. If I go back there, in fact, I'm going to. There's a young actor on an ABC television series called Will Trent.
Oh,
Will, the lead character and the producer of it, his name is Ramon Rodriguez. Fabulous actor. I want to. There's people like that. For example, right now, Marvel Comics has about 6 or 7 Latino superheroes. You don't hear about it,
right.
but
You're right.
I know. So that's something that it's in my mind.
Okay. Yeah. I'm so glad you mentioned things like the Latino superheroes or the first talkie films or so many things that people like me who have not dived in to do the research don't know. It's so important that you spread that word.
Thank you. Thank you. I love it.
Yes. What are you
Yes.
hoping? I'm hoping that people are all going to flock over and read your books. What would be your dream that when they're reading your book, what do you want them to come away with?
I want to become aware with a positive image of Latinos in general,
Yeah. It's so important.
because in today's world, Stephanie, there's so many crazy things happening, and we need to have more love and more understanding
You're absolutely right about
of
that.
who everyone is.
That
Yeah.
is so true. And really so much of it can start with books like yours that show that people are multifaceted, multicultural, eh, and creative and talented, and
Yes.
that
Yes.
people are not separate. We are all part of this wonderful, loving human experience and all creating and in many ways entertaining together, not separate.
Yeah. You know, I love entertainment. You know why? Because everyone loves entertainment. Yeah. And the visual media is what basically makes it happen. So that's why I do my picture books,
Mm-hmm.
because as I said many times, a picture tells 1,000 words.
Yes. Yes, you're absolutely right. And they're
Yeah,
so accessible for people who say, "Oh, I don't want to read a whole thing." And no, no, no. Yours
yeah,
yours get you right into the action, right in and seeing is believing, especially if one of your goals is to build bridges and understanding. Picture books are perfect.
absolutely. Well said, Stephanie. Well said. Thank you for that.
We have
Building
some things
bridges.
you and I are throwing out there in the universe today about who you want to meet next, about what effect we want your books to have, not just on the industry, on the world, because the world needs a little tweaking.
Absolutely. I totally agree.
Yeah. So let me think because there's so many. I mean, I have a million questions when I've been reading tidbits in your book. What's the most unbelievable thing? Something that you didn't think would happen, and yet there you were. Like,
Okay.
brilliant.
Here's one. When I moved to California in 1981, um, I was told by my friends that I have to be careful about the earthquakes.
Oh,
He wanted to put a scare on me. But in 1994, I was in the middle of an earthquake. My house went down, and I had to live out in a courtyard for about 3 weeks.
No.
So, so I said, I'm out of here. I left. I said, I'm out of here. Yeah, and I went to live in Puerto Rico. Yeah,
Oh my gosh. I mean, the whole house went down? You
not the half of it, half of it, because I was with my home was in the valley, and it was on stilts,
Oh, okay.
and it was a cul-de-sac, and everyone had the same thing.
Hmm.
Okay, so you go in under, and you go in under to park your car, and so it was Martin Luther King weekend, 1994. Never forget it. 4:30 in the morning.
Oh my
But
God.
what happened is prior to about an hour before that, I was at a party and I was a little tipsy. So I parked the car outside the cul-de-sac. It was the only car that survived. All the other cars were
Crushed.
crushed. And so the part of the house that didn't fall down was I was in.
Oh,
And they had to dig me out. They dug me out of the sand and all the rocks and everything. But I was the only one in the car, so I was the one to have the transportation for the community.
before for that brief moment before you moved to Puerto Rico because you said enough of these earthquakes.
Yeah, I was. It was an
I
unbelievable experience.
Did you
Unbelievable.
feel before the house went? Did you feel it?
Oh, of course. You kidding me? Not only that, but I had a TV up on the wall, and that TV came at me and hit me in my legs.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, and I had mirrors and then you hear people yelling, ah, it was a horrible, horrible thing.
I can't even imagine. I've never been in an earthquake. That terrifies me.
Oh, that's why I left Los Angeles. I love it, but I'll never live there again.
I don't blame you. I don't blame you one bit. Although, admittedly, every part of the world has some sort of a weather issue, but those
Yeah,
earthquakes seem to come out of nowhere.
yeah, yeah.
At least where I am, if we're going to be getting a snowstorm or something, we get plenty of notice on those things. Definitely plenty of notice.
Yep,
Well, that's
yep.
definitely an unbelievable story. So,
It's
little
in
little
it's in the book.
it's in the book. Absolutely, it's in the book. Well, a couple of fun light questions just so that our viewers can get to know you better. Uh,
Okay.
Favorite food?
I would say Latin food.
I love Latin food too. You're gonna have to be more specific. What do you like?
Um, I like rice and beans. I like roasted chicken. I
Mm.
like oh sea bass.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Fresh cod.
Get me hungry
And
here.
I cook because I come from my mom had a restaurant. We had a restaurant, so
There we
we all
go.
had to learn how to cook. So I have my mom's recipes.
Okay. Do you
I
dance?
do a lot of dancing too. I do a lot of dance. I do salsa.
Salsa. Okay, I was gonna ask what
Yeah,
your favorite dance is. It's the salsa.
salsa. Yeah.
Do you have a favorite drink?
Yeah. I like to have vodka with coconut water, fresh coconut water.
I've never had that.
Check it out. It is fantastic.
Should that be on the rocks or straight?
No, it could be under, yeah, it's under rocks. No,
Okay.
it's, you put a little rocks, you put a little vodka in it, and you put some coconut water, you stir it. It's refreshing, it's healthy. It's, and I've been drinking it for a longest time. Before that, I used to drink a lot of rum with Coke,
Mm-hmm.
but there's too much sugar in that. So I had
Oh,
too
so the
much sugar with
vodka
it.
is actually
If I
less
got
sugar.
has no um, sugar added to it, and the coconut water is natural, so it's about 10% gram
Okay, so
of
for all of
sugar.
our viewers out there who might be watching their waistline, Vodka and coconut water.
Yes, yes.
Fantastic. Do you have a favorite movie? You've written about so many people and stars and such. Do you have a favorite, or are there too many to mention?
There's a lot of wonderful, but one of my favorites is West Side Story,
Oh,
and the Blackboard Jungle is the other one,
very nice.
which
Good
is done,
choices.
yeah,
Absolutely great choices.
great films. I love them. Yeah.
Oh my gosh. As I said, you've seen so many. I mean, I could picture you in the alleyways, going in and out of shops, looking up and researching, and you had a notebook or whatever, because we didn't have all
I
these.
always have a pencil and paper with me.
Even now, do you still carry a pencil and
Oh,
paper?
yeah, of course, of course. I mean, it's
There we
anyway,
go.
it's here.
I love
Uh,
that. No, no
the
newfangled thing for you, huh? Good old fashioned write it down.
that's it. That's
I
it. Write
like
it down.
I
Yeah,
like it.
and it's again, writing is rewriting, but that's the beginning of it. You just put maybe two or three words, and then it brings you back.
Absolutely. And writing is also learning. Quite
Oh,
frankly,
yeah,
writing, when you listen and you write things down, that physical action helps to imprint it on your mind.
absolutely, absolutely correct. Yeah,
And
yeah,
your books are not only entertaining but incredibly educational, which is why they're being used in the colleges now, because it's important.
yeah, yeah,
Very, very important
yeah.
thing.
I was amazed. I got a wonderful review um, from one of the major universities that they were really thrilled to have the book in their library. So it's satisfying,
That is
that
fabulous.
that you did something that other people can learn from, enjoy, and it's great.
That's fantastic. Raphael, you have a couple of books there. Can you hold them up for us just so we can remember what we're
Sure,
going
sure.
over? We can Google you,
Okay.
we can go to your website, which I'm also going to
Yeah,
put up in the chat. But yes, I love that one. That is such a beautiful book. Look at that. That's as big as a coffee table. That's not just a coffee table book. That's a coffee
okay.
table
Now,
in itself.
the sign says se habla español. Let me tell you why. Okay. Hollywood is a facade, So I figured I want to put a bar in the desert, call it the Hollywood Bar, and on the window, they'll say, Se habla español. But you know why? Because when I was 14 or 15 and 16 years old, I used to work at men's haberdasheries, ladies' shoes, and stuff like that with all the non-Hispanic folks.
Right?
And but the community was Hispanic. So I put a sign together that said, Se habla español. And the customers came in, Stephanie, like unbelievable. They wouldn't, everybody was hiring me.
Oh, isn't that fantastic? Let's keep that up. Let's
That's
keep
why that's why I put that Se habla español there. Okay. Uh, then the 1970s,
Ah, yes.
um,
Some of my
um,
favorites are on that cover there.
yeah, and there's some wonderful people that I've met that I work with. um, at ICM, International Creative Management, which is I was the chief financial officer again, and I was able to really meet all these wonderful actors and negotiate for them
Oh,
and build friendships.
right.
Okay, and the most current one, again, is this one.
Numbers is everything.
Numbers is everything. That's what my mother told me. Numbers is everything, and she was right.
Well, Raphael, you've had an unbelievable life. Uh,
Thank you.
I'm so glad that you are not selfish with your memories, but instead you want to share them, and you want people to not only enjoy your memories, but learn from them and be part of this great collective Hispanic history in many
Absolutely,
cases.
absolutely right. Yes, yes.
Fantastic.
Thank you so much,
So very
Stephanie.
welcome. Let's get
Mm,
our readers out there. And believe me, there's things in these books you don't know. I don't know. We need to educate ourselves, and Raphael is here to help us. Thank you so much for
Thank you.
joining me.
Thank you so much for having me, Stephanie.